Good afternoon. Happy third Sunday of Easter. Now, I thought I should make a small video to put out, especially, as it's been announced that there's a little bit of a change here that's happening. Father John Paul, who has been a great servant of this parish for the last 2 years, has been very diligent in his work and projects, has been wonderfully servant to his whole community, very diligent in his Spanish, very excellent in his charity and his compassion to this community. And so I want to say, first of all, to thank you to him. It's been a great thing. This community has benefited so much from Father John Paul's expertise, his abilities, his devotion, his dedication. And so this community rejoices in the fact that we've been so grateful as to have such a great priest here to be a minister to the people and to help in the mission of the church here in the Panhandle. After all, it'd be hard to think how things could be different, how they could be anything except what we have for his gifts. And so we're very thankful. Now, of course, with that, as he mentioned in his video, it's kind of bittersweet news. It is in the sense that, he has to leave, he has to move on. And this is something where, the Archbishop takes very seriously. When he chooses pastors, he has to look from amongst his priests and especially all those parochial vicars out there and says, who can rise to these challenges? Who are the ones that are really able to take on these difficulties and the pressures and to manage and to lead this community of people closer to God? And so when he takes that examination process, he looks at all of his parochial vicars and then he chooses from them and says, this one. And not just this one in general, not just that a parochial vicar has certain abilities, but more so that he has these abilities, and especially for this community. The community of Blessed Sacrament in Lawton is going to be very blessed to have Father John Paul. It's going to be a great moment for them because in this, they are going to receive a pastor who has been handpicked for them by the Archbishop. Of course, for us, we sit here and it's a sad moment because Father John Paul has meant so much to this community, means so much to this community, and will mean so much to this community. And that, his memory is not going to fade, obviously. That we will remember things, that we will continue to do things that he has set forth now, especially I think of the youth group, and that the way that he has brought forth kind of this new and creative idea of how to work with the youth on Wednesday night. Wonderful. And will be a blessing to produce fruit for years to come. But the Archbishop saw this. He saw in Father John Paul this excellence of character. He saw this excellence of ability. And he said, I need this. I need this for the people of Blessed Sacrament. Because he also saw in Father Bittner, who he moved from Blessed Sacrament, he saw also an excellence that he needed to move to a new parish. And so with the greatness that Father John Paul has experienced here for the community and the growth that he's had here is even more going to help him down there at Blessed Sacrament. So sure, it is bittersweet in the fact that he's been chosen, but he's been chosen for his excellence. He's been chosen for those wonderful skills that we have benefited from so much. And at the same time, there is excitement for us too. Again, a bittersweet type of excitement because we are going to welcome in Father Jerome Krug, whose video is also up and available for you all to watch. Father Jerome Krug has many great abilities. When the Archbishop asked me and told me the news about Father John Paul being moved and asked me, said, what would you think of Father Jerome Krug? I said, Archbishop, if I can't have Father John Paul, then Father Jerome Krug, to me, is the best option out there I could imagine. Father Jerome is very skillful, very uh, full of abilities and capacities, full of creativity and great energy. This community, I think, is going to benefit greatly from his from all of these gifts that he has. And these gifts that he has naturally, these gifts that he's worked on and developed, the gifts that the Lord has been working on within him. And so we'll try to get him up, you know, whenever we get things a little uh, cleared up around here. He's going to come up and kind of visit and see things a little bit. But we're also going to try to um, get him very much well known. I'm going to steal something from my friend Father Bittner in Lawton, and that is to try to get him up here and have kind of a little more lengthy interview. And we'll put it out on our YouTube channel for everyone to watch to kind of get to know Father Krug a little bit better as he's getting ready to come up. So as soon as this coronavirus kind of trails off a little bit more, and we're able to, certainly towards the end of June, we'll have a party for Father John Paul, a great celebration and a send off for him. For we do celebrate in his great achievements, and we do celebrate in what the Archbishop has honored him by to make him a pastor. And then we'll also have a welcome party for Father Jerome Krug at the beginning of July, as he comes and starts settling in. We can get to know him, and that this community can better benefit from his joy and his gifts. And so, with all of that, I say, as the pastor here, it's a hard transition to make. We never want to lose a good priest like Father John Paul, but the Archbishop and the Lord have graced us with another good priest, Father Jerome Krug, to come in his stead. And so keep them both in your prayers. For Father John Paul needs lots of prayers as he will be taking over down there in Lawton, and the challenges that will arise out of that. May God grace him and bless him with everything that he needs to succeed. And then we also pray for Father Jerome Krug as he prepares to come up here, that God will likewise give him all the grace and the gifts that he needs to do well for this community. And so I leave you all today, as I do always, God with you.